this thing on. There you go, work this. So wonky. What's the Alice back look? Oh my god. Put it up in a mandem? Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is a first for the podcast, a first video vlog for myself. I couldn't even attempt to do this live. This is actually probably the 50th take that I've done already. So I've just come to the conclusion that I'm just going to speak from the heart, speak from my mind. And yeah, it should be some fun. And today's real topic of discussion is the Wales-England game. And as you may see from the headline, it's not clickbait whatsoever. Are Wales a lucky team? And when you see that headline, I think people from Wales would get angry. And I think people from outside of Wales, England and Ireland certainly would probably think, yeah, you are. And I love the banter side of rugby. I love the banter side of everything, really, of every sport that you take part in. But some lines have been crossed over the last few days. And when I say last few days, I probably mean last few weeks as well. And it's been in football, and unfortunately it's really badly edged its way into our beautiful game that is rugby union. And we're going to get into that later on in this piece. But firstly, I do want to talk about the luckiness of Wales, if you will. And I think to talk about luck, I think you've got to make your own luck. And I've always said that. You've got to make your own luck as a team, as a player, as a coach. You've got to put yourself in situations that you're going to force the opposition into making mistakes. And no, I'm not going to sit here and defend Man United because I don't really like them that much. But you look at them and the penalties that they've had over the last 2 seasons under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think they've doubled or quadrupled the nearest team to them in terms of how many penalties they've actually had. But you've actually got to get in that penalty area to win a penalty. And they obviously get in the penalty area quite a lot, and they happened to Liverpool a few years ago. But in terms of the rugby side, you look at that first game against Ireland. Amani, I'm going to say he was an idiot. He was a complete idiot, and he's done it before. He's done it in the past. He did it against Scarlets at the start of the season for Munster when they beat him at Parc Scarlets. And he's done it again on Thomas Francis. And I think Peter O'Mahony's had 4 or 5 disciplinary hearings in the past. Surely that's got to take into account of a longer ban, because you can't do that in today's game. On the Xander Ferguson thing, Xander Ferguson, sorry. It's talking about Man United, Ferguson, yeah. On the Xander Ferguson thing, on the hit that he did, one thing that I will say is it makes it a hell of a lot worse when he's in slow motion. And when he comes in, I think Wyn Jones is being taken back, but as he comes in, it's literally half a second late, and he just catches him on the top of the head. And if the laws are saying that any contact with force to the head is a red card, it's a red card, and it's as simple as that. You cannot take away those 2 red cards, and it's not Wales' fault that the other team is indisciplined. And again, that moves on to Saturday's game, where England's discipline was absolutely disgraceful. It was, and if I was an England fan, that's what I would be saying. And I feel like there's this attitude around England where, if you're an England fan, you probably think everybody hates you, and you're probably right. And people watch Wales-England who may never have watched rugby union before. People would watch Wales-England if it was a game of bulls, a game of tiddlywinks, and they would be screaming for Wales to win. It doesn't matter. It's Wales-England. It's a historic past that we have. But at the end of the day, we're all good friends anyway. It's 80 minutes and it's really, pressure charged, like a pressure cooker, and it explodes. And that's exactly what happened on Saturday. I talked to many of my friends from university, and we're having a bit of banter. But yeah, at the end of the day, we're the little brother, and we're trying to topple you guys. And luckily for Wales, we did that on Saturday. And the one thing that maybe is taken away from the victory is obviously the two decisions from Pascal Gauzet. And I want to get into them now because I think they need to be addressed. Now, when I first watched that game, looking at the slow-mos and stuff, I thought the second try should have been given, and I thought the first try should have been disallowed. But having looked back at it quite a few times, I think the first try is completely fair. You get a stopwatch and you look out how much time England were given. Owen Farrell was given to talk to his side. He sends him under the post. Pascal Gauzet doesn't just send him under the post and blows his whistle straight away. Of course, that would be wrong. I think he gives him like 30, 40 seconds. And if you actually look at it, the England players are actually slow in resetting in defensive position. So one half of the side actually comes out from the huddle, spreads across the pitch, and I'll show you it in the bottom of the video here, spreads across the pitch, and then on the other side of the pitch, there is nobody. Now, it's not up to the ref to say, come on, hurry up, guys, they want to get the penalty. You've just committed an infringement. They want to take their penalty. Dan Biggar never signalled to go for the post. And he asked the ref checked, saw the back line in the background, and said, when can I take can you tell me when I'm allowed to take the kick, please? And the ref blew his whistle straight away, and he took it. And the one thing that really annoyed me was Martin Johnson saying, I'm astonished or something like that, or I'm flabbergasted, that speechless, he said. Stuff that Martin Johnson did on a field, you always get the first yellow card, you'll take one for the team. And it's crazy when players become pundits and they sort of say things like that. But I think the first try was completely fair. Let's move on to the second try now. And I think watching it first time, you think, knock on. And then you don't hear the whistle. And then you go, as Welsh fans, you go, he might give this. Because Liam Williams played on. Liam Williams actually did really well to pick the ball up and evade the tackle of Farrell and keep hold of the ball, because Farrell was a really good tackle with Farrell, to be fair, and he managed to get the ball down. But, and there's nothing to do with playing to the whistle there, because Farrell actually did really well in trying to get back. But the referee put himself in an awkward position there. He put himself in an awkward position where he was saying, I might think that's a try, I'm going to play on. And you've seen, and I don't want to keep going back to football, but you've seen in the football where somebody's definitely offside, and the linesman flag doesn't go up until the very last minute, until the ball's in the net. And I don't want that to seep into rugby, because you are going to get injuries. And I can't believe that we haven't seen it in football yet, that we haven't seen a big injury when someone's actually been offside. But, again, and there's a lot of buts here, Pascal Gauzet put himself in a situation that he didn't need to put himself into. And I think you've got to think of, if he blows up there and then, there is not one Welshman in Wales that would have argued that he had blown his whistle and given a scrum to England. And I've seen a lot of people take away the 14 points that Wales would have had, and it would have been 26-24 to England. And we're not stupid enough. That's just a little bit of banter. We're not stupid enough to think that if those two tries weren't given, that we would have still won by 2 points. Tries change games, and it's as simple as that. The other thing around the game was, of course, the interviewing from Sonia McLaughlin, and I put a tweet out, which you can see right there. And to be honest, when I actually meant it. I meant what I said about Sonia McLaughlin in that tweet. There was no malice about it. There was no abuse there. I just didn't like the line of questioning that she was putting towards Alan Wynne-Jones, or to Owen Farrell, in fact, And Owen Farrell, my respect for the man went up tenfold for the way he dealt with our interview, and he dealt with it as a captain. And many people have, said he should be dropped or this and that, but my goodness me, he was brilliant in that interview, and so was Eddie Jones. And I didn't like the deflection away from the game. Now, saying that, the abuse of Sonia has been absolutely ridiculous, and we do not want to let this seep into our game. We need to stop this at source now, because as soon as it happened, another video surfaced then of Ellis Genge not clapping when the players are coming off. And you look at it first time, you think petulant, absolute petulance from a guy that I had respect for, and I absolutely love him because of his podcasts, and he's a very open and genuine character, and that's what we need in the game. We don't want people to be robots. But when you see him not clapping, you think straight away, he's doing that on purpose. But if you actually look at him, this is how much it means to him. And yes, sports, a game for people, who are competitive, and there's competitive, and then there's the likes of Ellis Genge. Mike Brown a few years ago didn't even want to give an interview after the game. That was petulance. But straight after the game, the camera only saw 5-6 seconds of him. He might have been clapping before that and then just stopped. But then again, he's given death threats, and again, that's not on. That is not on. And if we don't sort this out quick enough, and I say we, I think Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, there's got to be something with all the technology out there. We've got to start verifying people, stopping them from making fake accounts. When you sign up to Twitter, when you sign up to Instagram, when you sign up to Facebook, you have got to send off your passport photo or an ID for your driver's license. And yes, people can get maybe fake, but it will stop hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people from making fake accounts and giving this abuse to people that don't warrant it. These guys are just doing their job. If a postman doesn't deliver the mail on time, he's not getting death threats in the post. People make mistakes. And Sonia, just the thought of her crying in her car is, it's hard. I disagreed with her questioning, but that's as far as it goes. Me as a Welshman, I thought it was taken away from the Welsh victory. The line of questioning of saying to Alan Wynne-Jones, could you ask the ref, what was going on there with our first try? Now, Alan Wynne-Jones, we've just scored a try. Alan Wynne-Jones is not going to go up to the referee and say, ref, what's going on here, ref? Why have you given that? It's a silly question. It is a silly question. And I've interviewed people in the past where I've said silly questions and your mind just goes blank. But yeah, we all make mistakes, and I'm sure there's been a lot of people out there that have said my line of questions is shit as well. But that's the industry we work in. But I just wanted to, have my voice heard, even if it's by a few people. I just want people to know that this is wrong, and people who even make these fake accounts know is wrong, and it needs to stop, because people are going to walk away from the game. Sonia, the pressure that people have put on her now, for that next match that she covers is massive. And we've seen her in football again with Karen Carney. And me personally, I think whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you're non-binary, if you're doing your job wrong, everybody's entitled to their opinion, as long as it's not a heinous, comment, or if there's no abuse, if there's not a death threat. If you're entitled to your opinion, to say you're not doing your job right. And when it comes down to maybe women having the stick, and it's been really strange, because when it happened to Karen Carney, first thing people said was sexism. When it happened to Sonia McLaughlin, because she's been in the industry for so long, people almost didn't see the gender side of it, which is fantastic because she has earned that right. She has earned the right for people to see past her gender and to see her as an upstanding journalist, an upstanding reporter, one of the best. She has been one of the best. She's been around since I've started watching rugby. And she asks the hard questions, but just one game. That is the only time I've ever seen her make one or two mistakes during an interview. And it was in the heat of the battle. So, yeah, I've said my piece. I probably presume many people are going to have their say over the next few days on podcasts. But yeah, that's my opinion. Might not be warranted by many people, but it is what it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. There's going to be plenty more to come over the next few weeks. And I hope everybody staying safe during this lockdown. We'll be out of this very soon, hopefully. Saying that there's a Brazilian variant now, but I'm sure this pandemic will be ending very soon, and we'll all be in stadiums very soon as well. So thank you for watching, and good night.